Hello, welcome to the Knitting Project. My name is Sharon and I'm coming to you from Surrey in the UK, where I live with my family and my animals. Today is Thursday the 8th of May 2025 and this is episode 185. Welcome if you are a new viewer and welcome back if you're a returning viewer. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you. This is my this is my podcast all about what I've got up to crafting wise since I last spoke to you. This is the third go at recording this intro. I'm not doing it again, so I'm sorry about that stumble. You would think, seeing as I say the same thing every single week, I'd actually get this sorted, but no, this week apparently not happening. So how have you all been? It has been a week since I last spoke to you. Well, no, 2 weeks really, because there was a week in the middle I missed because I was away, and I had great fun while I was away, and I have done some crafting. So it's all changed this week. I haven't got any finished objects, which is a bit more normal for me, to be fair. I have, however, got a new cast on or two, also a bit more normal for me. So let's get into what I've been up to, shall we? We're going to start with some old friends. So I've picked up my cozy memory blanket again. And there is a reason. It's because I have picked up one of my Advent projects. But I haven't done much because I only picked it up yesterday. But I thought I might show you. I finished that one, which was from my Nana Gnome. And then these two are Willy Goodness. And that's from my Willy Goodness Advent calendar that I had for 2024. And yeah, those are those two. And with her Advent calendar, I am making, hold on, let's talk a little bit more about I'm rushing ahead of myself, aren't I? Getting ahead of myself. So this is a cozy memory blanket. It's only tiny, but the idea is I have put all my Advent yarns into this, and any projects that I do this year, although I'm kind of rethinking that. I'm not sure whether that's going to happen or not, but that's another story. For the moment, the Christmas socks have gone in here, and so has the Nana Gnome yarn. But I'm doing 18 by 18 squares, so 18 down and 18 across. And I do a knit two together each side of a stitch marker square. I have got a tutorial for my cozy memory blanket, which is a snippet if you would like to look back on that, if you want to know how I do mine. I use 2.5mm needles, and I really like it. So all of my minis from Jules that I got in a swap, and all my Homespun House minis are in here because that's two projects that I finished. So I've just moved on to picking up another project because I wanted to try and keep one on the go with everything else that I've got going, and I decided I fancied some crochet. So I picked up this one. It's living in this beautiful caravan bag from Bags by Awesome Granny, and I picked up my giant granny square, and this is what it's looking like. That's the front, and I love it a lot. So I started where my little sheepy is, so that was where I started, and I did the green colour, which went all the way around. And somewhere, here we go, it went into the blue, and then it's this blue colour. So I did two minis in from this yesterday. So I managed to get two squares into my cozy memory blanket and to get two minis into this. I love how this is looking. I'm loving these colours so much. So I'm going to put this year's Advent into this. So this was made up for minis that Jenny kindly gifted me last year, and then I've started putting this year's Advent into it. I may consider putting the minis from my club for this year in here, but I'm actually thinking I might do granny squares with those and turn them into a granny square blanket. don't know, because I've got some other minis from Jenny that are a club, and I thought actually they would all make quite a nice granny square blanket. So we'll see. Not sold on that idea yet, but I am going to carry on putting the Advent minis in here. It's not going to be a finished blanket by the time that I finish the Advent, so it will go away then until I either get another Advent from Jenny, if Jenny's doing it again this year, or I decide what I'm going to do, what minis I'm going to put in here. I've got from a while ago, I think like garden minis or something that Jenny did that would look nice in here. So we'll see, but that's it for the moment. So that's that one. What other current whips have I got? Oh, that is definitely not a current whip. That is a new Caston. So that can live down there for a moment. There we go. So hanging out in my Sherry Iris bag that the lovely Sherry kindly made me is my Sherry Iris socks. So the last time you saw this, I was on the first sock and I was about there. I think I'd just done the heel turn. So I've carried on. I've done the gusset decreases. I've done the little bit of ribbing the twisted ribbon that I'd put in for the middle part of the jelly roll. So I just do a 1x1 twisted rib on this. You're supposed to do colour work, but as I was saying on the heel, you're not going to see the difference in the colour, because although this one's got purple in and this one's got blue in, these colours, the brown and the green, are the same colour. So you really won't notice if you did that as colour work. So as you see, I finished the first sock and I have cast on the second sock and done both the jelly rolls at the top and the heel, and I've started the decreases. I think I'm very nearly at the end of the decreases. So I realised that I was not going to have enough of the blue left to do a second blue foot, but I do have enough of the purple left. So these are sisters, not twins. I don't know what the rest of the colours are that are in this, because they're a mystery. They're in little packages, but if they're all very similar to this, I could just end up with so there's 12, let's work this out, there's 12 minis, and I look like I'm able to get one pair of socks out of two, so that's 6 pair of socks, isn't it? So I may end up with 6 socks, 12 socks, yeah, 12 socks. Wow, mini a sock. That doesn't sound right. Anyway, moving on from that, I could end up with very similar socks in the set, so it may not matter which one I wear with which, but we will see. So that's the first one, that's the second one. So on this one I've gone with the purple as the main colour and the blue as the accent colour. So the blue's done the heel and the jelly roll, and it's got, how much have I got left? I've got this much left. Oh, it's got some ends on it. Got that much left, so that will definitely do the middle ribbing. I'm not sure it will finish the toe. I think the toe is going to be a mixture of this one and whatever I have left over from that one. So I think that might be a little mixed toe, shall we say, on that, but we will see. I really like it. They're going to be very fun everyday socks. So they're not ones that you reach for a special occasion. They're just going to be, I'm going to wear this every day, which actually I like. I like to have some everyday socks that I don't think, oh, they're too special to wear today. So they are the start of it. I'm doing them on 2 circulars on 2.5mm needles. I'm doing a 60 stitch count. I've got some lovely little corner of craft progress keepers. I've got the blackberry on that side and the raspberry on that side. So I think that's enough about the socks. But yeah, I'm loving them, really enjoying them. It's nice to be doing jelly rolls again. I really enjoy jelly rolls. They're so much fun to knit. And they're really nice to wear, actually. They're really comfortable socks. Of course, I've not put something back. Always happens. This is from my crochet hook from my blanket. I think it's a 4mm that I'm using, and yeah, it's a really pretty decorated one. It's gone all shiny where I use it so much. And I'll need to put that back at some point. Right, so that's the last one that you've seen, whip that you've seen, and I've got 2 new Castons. Our first one is living in the Sherry Iris bag that came with the Easter box. Oh, I should have said those socks are from the Easter box, Sherry Iris's Easter box. And in here I have cast on my green lambkin yarn, Tiptoe Through the Tulips yarn, which I think you saw on last week's podcast. It's in Sparkle Sock. And I am making the Lilybet sock by Rebecca Norman, of the Becca Makes podcast, I think. And these are the Lilybet socks. I have literally just got a cast on. So this is the, again, I'm doing 2 circulars, and that is the cast on. It is a 2x2 twisted rib. I love how it's sitting up, it's so pretty. So this is a patterned sock, which hopefully you'll see a lot more of next week, because I really would like to get on with these. So this is the gorgeous yarn, so pretty. That's all those green bits that were running through it when I showed you last week in the skein. So I'm excited about this. I really want to use this. There's another one I want to do. I want to try and do some form of rotation with my whips, because I've got one that when I do it is very addictive, which is the one I'm going to show you next, and the last one for this week. So again, 2.5mm needles. It's whatever stitch count it was. I think it's a 64 stitch count for this one, and beautiful green lambkin yarn. So I'll share more on that next week when I've hopefully done a little bit more. And my next one is living in this giant bag because it has so much yarn to go with it. I'm actually slightly concerned at the fact that this bag is really heavy. So if that's the amount of yarn that this is going to take, I'm going to know about it. So that's that one out. That's that one out. What do I need of these bags out? I need you out, and possibly you. You can all stay in there. Okay, so this is the Brio Ripple Wrap by Stephen West, and it's a relatively new pattern. It's brioche, and the idea is that I should just pick mine up and show you. So the idea is that on these sections you have one colour for here, then one colour for that colour, and then one colour for the background colour. So each section is supposed to take 3 different minis. I think the background colour on Stevens is a mohair, which obviously I don't use because it tends to make me choke. So I went backwards and forwards about what yarns I was going to use for mine. And I have settled on, I'm using my Lay Family Yarn Retreat Minis. So this is the first set of Retreat Minis that I've got. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. And I am using what's left of the Retreat Minis in here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're quite similar, so I'm going to need to make sure that they're not together. 6, 7, and I believe that one was the one that I dyed. So I've got 7 more to go. Stephen, the pattern calls for 46 segments. Stephen said if you're short, maybe do 36. So I'm going to go with 36 and see how long that is, because I don't want it to trail on the floor. So these are the minis I'm using at the moment. I have got all my other Retreat minis, so I'll keep going until I run out of sections. I won't run out of minis because I have definitely got more minis. So they're the first ones that I'm using. This is the current one that I've just finished with that mini. So these minis, the background colour, so this colour, I am using from my here we go, Spectrum Fibre minis. So these are all the clubs that I had from Spectrum Fibre last year. So I'm using all of these. There are not enough of these, so I will be repeating colours of these. I'm going to try and repeat them in order, I think, if I can work it out. So yeah, they are the Spectrum Fibre minis. So the back of this, so that's the front, and the back of this, I love it. I love it so much. So I decided that I was going to carry my background colour into the let's start that section again. I decided that I'm going to carry my reverse stocking neck stitch section into my background colour, because I just really liked the way it looked. I'd started off with this brown, so I cast on the green, and then I'd put the brown with a different colour, and I was like, oh, I just like the green, so I ripped it out. In fact, I ripped this out so many times because I just didn't like it. I went wrong once, and then I didn't like my colours, so I decided actually I would just like to use the reverse stocking stitch colour for the background, which is there. I am trying to sew my ends in as I go. I have got a couple of sections of ends to do, which I will do hopefully today. And yeah, I love it. I love the brioche. The brioche knitting is really straightforward. It's very potato chippy once you actually get set up. By the time you've done, 3 sections, you don't really need the pattern anymore. The only reason I keep control of the pattern or look on the pattern is just to count my row repeats. But yeah, I love it. I love both sides of it. What's not to love? So I'm really, really pleased with that. I'm trying to contrast my minis, but also not hugely contrast. The green and the brown was a major contrast, but then I sort of went with the blue and the yellow kind of went together, and then because that was a pale pink, I went with a speckled on that one, and then a pink and grey because who doesn't like pink and grey, and then I did kind of blue with blue, so I did light blue with dark blue, and then I did the peach with the brown. So it's contrasty enough that you know which yarn you're working with, which within brioche is always a bonus, but it's not so in your face. Well, the green and the brown is, but I learnt my lesson from that section, and I wasn't ripping it out for a fourth time. But yeah, so that's the brioche. So, and also, if you're fairly new to brioche, you're a bit like, oh, I'm not sure about patterning brioche. You don't. The pattern row turns up in the reverse stocking stitch row, so you don't have to worry about your brioche patterning. But yeah, absolutely love this. And very, very addictive because you just want to get to the next colour combination. I cast on with my friend Kate. We are buddying up to knit this together. I think she'll probably beat me because I go and squirrel off onto other things like all the summer socks, which is going to happen. My poor vest has got been put on timeout temporarily. I think it will come back as soon as I've got this finished. And to be honest, I don't think it will take me an awful long time to finish this. But yeah, really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. So yeah, that's Stephen West. I went with 3mm Chalgoon needles. I tried a couple of different needle sizes as well before I was happy with how my stitches looked. And I settled on 3mm needles, and this is a fingering weight yarn. So yeah, that's my Spectrum Fibre one, and that was the mini one from the retreat. But yeah, so much fun. Really, really enjoying knitting this. And like I said, it's living in that huge bag because there's so much yarn to cart around with you. It's not overly portable, let's put it that way. Kate's had a brilliant idea. She's pre-selected all her colours and pre-wound them all. So she's got little baggies with them all in, which is brilliant. But I was not that organised. In fact, I was still choosing what I was going to do the day she was here, and I was still changing my mind about what I was going to do the day she was here. So I left it right to the last minute. But absolutely love that, really do. And yeah, I love working on it. So that's it, I think, for the knitting section. On the list of equipment that's still on my desk, they came out of my Jelly Roll socks. Oh dear. Right, so next up is acquisitions this week, and I have clubs, I have purchases, and I have, let's just move those around. Let's start with purchases first, because why wouldn't we? I bought these a long while ago, and for some reason have never got around to showing them on the podcast. So I thought I'd show them to you today, because these are a possibility to go into my Brio Ripple wrap if I run out of minis to do the background colour. I suddenly remembered I had these, and they've been sitting in a different podcast basket because I was going to show them on the podcast and I never got round to them. So these are Woolly Mama, and it's a mini set. Isn't that gorgeous? So my thoughts are I could use these as background colours as well. I think they'd go really well. And if I don't use them for that, I could use them for something else anyway. But they could go in my sweet shop blanket I'm making with my Advent from Woolly Mama. And yeah, they're really, really, really pretty. Really pretty. Love them. Love the rainbow that there is. So I bought those, and then I also bought these. So these are Knit Pro zines, and they're a set of DPN needles, because I'm finding I'm needing DPNs a lot at the moment between Gnome Knitting and Stephen West Miles of Cord cast on. I just thought a proper set of DPNs would be really useful. So I bought these. I did buy them on Amazon. They came really quickly, but they go from 2mm, is that 2.5? It's got 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5. So yeah, there's that and that. I just thought they'd be really, really useful to have just to set together, because I have got quite a few DPNs, but they're not in one place. And I was very lucky on Saturday when Kate was here to cast on my Stephen West. I did actually know exactly where my DPNs were that I needed for that size, but that was more by luck than anything else. So I thought, right, I'm going to treat myself to some things. Also, Kate was using things and they look really good. So I was like, needle envy. I haven't told Kate that yet. I probably should message her before she watches it on this. Kate, that's all your fault. So next up, I had a Willy Goodness Easter box. This is not all of it, because I think the edible bit got eaten. The stitch markers that came with it are in a project, and I can't remember what else there was, but and I can't even remember whether these came with it, but I've got some, I think they did, some little hand woven labels, and then there was a really pretty bookmark with little bunnies on it, which was the same for, so did I say this was the Easter treat box? So if you've got an Easter treat box and you haven't opened it from Willy Goodness, look away. I can't imagine why you wouldn't have done, but just in case. So this was the bag, so I got a bag to go with it. So cute. Those little bunnies are so sweet. So I'm going to put this up for Easter next year. And then this is the yarn. So definitely, if you've not opened yours, look away. But oh my gosh. Absolutely adore this yarn. Look at that. It's blowing out slightly, which is annoying. But it's really, it's a bit more of an in-depth. It's not as like white as it's showing up. But it's beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And this is 75% superwash merino, 15% nylon and 10% stellina. And it's 100 gram skein and a 20 gram mini. So that will be socks in the not too far distant future. So that's that. Now we're on to clubs. So fair warning for all of these. Let's start with this one. This is the Santa's Secret Sock Club from Lay Family Yarn for the month of May. So if you do not have yours or you haven't opened yours yet, please look away. Are you looking away? I love this. It's kind of my favourite colour. So yeah, very, very happy with this. And I love that that's the colour that's with it. So I'll show you the details on the back so you can see the name. I don't know whether that name would give it away the colour, but I don't want to say it just in case. And yeah, it's Lay Family Yarn. But yes, it's beautiful. As usual, their yarns always are, and so soft and cuddly. Right, you can look back if you've been looking away. Next up on the whole clubs is Minis from the Movies by Willy Goodness. So if you haven't opened your one of those yet, then please look away. This is Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. And I've got Sparkle, of course, because, you know, I always do. And then I'll show you. This is so much fun. And these are the ones I'm thinking I'm going to put into a crochet blanket. Again, I'll just show you the back so that I don't give too much away. I love this one. I think we can safely say Chanel, that one. But this is brilliant. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Then we've got this one. And this is the last one. Cool, you see that was sparkling, can't you? Got the sparkle on that. So this is what they all look like together. See, these are 5-10 grams. Aren't they fun? Oh, love them. Don't know if the next lot are up yet or not. I'll have to double check that. So that's that one. And because all the colours decided to come in at once, I've also got my Seasons Spell Yarn Club from Beehive Yarns. So that's the inspiration picture. It is actually different I think for this quarter. I think this is the next quarter. And these are the minis. Again, if you haven't got it, look away. So pretty. Oh my goodness, so pretty. Yeah, love these so much. I'm keeping them all in a basket over there just to look at them at the moment. I've got to work out what I'm going to do with them. I'm thinking I might do a northeasterly because I think the colours would just make such a beautiful northeasterly, and then just do like repeat the colours so that it's just all of the whole blankets in this, and just keep going until I've run out of yarn. But I love it, really love it. So that's that one. And I think that's it for incoming this week. So on the watch this week, hopefully you've already seen my Welsh vlog, which actually wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, because I was in the van an awful lot because Raven was just being a scaredy dog, bless her. So she needed comfort and cuddles, and we were just in the van together really. I did a lot of crafting, as you can tell by my Brio Ripple wrap, and I did a lot of journaling. I got all my journals caught back up to date, and really I didn't go out that much. We had one day out because Ian flew so much. I'm hoping he's got some footage that he can send me of actual flights. I don't know, because he was actually the pilot, so he didn't really have a chance to do an awful lot of recording. So we'll see what I've got with that. But that's it from me this week, because, oh, sorry, there's a very large pigeon has landed on a very small branch. I was just waiting for the pigeon to fall off. Bless it. So, but yes, I think that's it from me this week. I am going out on Saturday with Charlie to London, so hopefully I'll get some footage of that to put in the vlog next weekend. That's the theory. And we're turning the pink room upstairs into an office for Ian, so I'm hoping to do like a before and after on that as well, so that hopefully will be around at some point. We're giving up on the Wednesday snippets at the moment just because I can't think of anything to do. So if you guys have any ideas of something I can do for you on a Wednesday in a snippet, techniques, or anything you want to see, you know, if you want to look in any of the boxes or anything, drop a comment below and I will try and do that for you. Oh, I have got one more thing to show you. This, also inspired by my friend Kate. It's the Kate show today. Hi, Kate. When I was away, I cast on the tulip socks that you saw me show, the Lilibet socks. And although I've got my giant journal, which has got all things knitting in it, so like it's got that's my dotted rays, and it's got all the information about it. This is more a keepsake of a record of the projects. I mean, it does, obviously it keeps track of what I've got as well, but it's more of a keepsake. I don't tend to cart it around because it's quite big. But I cast those socks on in the car and kind of afterwards was like, oh, how would be an easy way of me just keeping a record of when I've cast on? And I thought, well, I could leave a note in the project bag, but that requires me to A, have a post-it note or something on me, and B, a pen. And then I remembered that my lovely friend Kate had little books that she kept a record of all her whips in. And I asked her a few questions about her whips when she was over, and she was able to answer them because she could look them up in her books. Not that she had the books with her, but when she got home. So I thought, actually, just a little notebook that you could keep a note of what it was and when you started it would be really useful. Yes, it requires a pen, so I do need to keep a pen with it. This is a beautiful little notebook. It's William Morris's Gallery. I don't know who bought me this. Somebody obviously bought it for me. I don't think I bought it myself. It's got honeysuckle on it, which is my favourite flower. So if you bought this for me, thank you so much. I love it. I really do. Anyway, I decided this is what it's going to be. And there's no frills or fancies. It's not pretty, but it has got a list of every whip I've got and the date I started it. And it goes over 1, 2 and a bit pages. This is not all my whips. There are more. I need to get all my whips into the same place. I have a plan for that. And then I'll finish filling this in. But they have all got their start dates or approximate start dates if I wasn't able to get an actual start date for them. And the idea is this is just going to hang out in my handbag with a pen, and then if I start anything or indeed finish anything, because the idea is the second space down there is a finish date. So started, finished. And it just so happened at the very top of this, the first one, was my Willy Goodness friendship blanket. I was like, well, why don't I get that out? Why don't I try and always have one of my long-term whips in rotation during the week when I'm knitting? So I decided, let's get that out and we'll use that one because it's the top of the list. And wouldn't it be fun to get the first one off the list? The second one, which is a Dust of Snow wrap from 2023, it's going to be in there somewhere. I'd have to find it. So my thoughts are, and this would make quite a good snippet at some point, I have a big sideboard in the lounge that's full of yarn related products. There's some yarn in there, there's some boxes of yarn in there, there's some project bags in there, there's some old yarn in there, and I thought that would be so much better if that was in there and my whips were all just in this sideboard. And I don't think I'd even bother about trying to put them in a box or anything. I think I'd just try and stuff them in because I think I'll get more in there that way. And I think that would be a really good place to keep all of my whips. And I've got two types of whip. I've got the whip that I've cast on, so I've actually got it started and it's in the bag, and at some point I've knitted it, and you've probably seen some of it on the podcast. And I've set it all up in the bag, but I haven't cast it on yet. I've got one at the moment which shows the Giddy Yarns from last week. I've wound the yarn up, the needles are there, but I haven't actually cast it on yet because I thought, well, let's get one pair of socks done before I cast on another. And those types of whips could go into the fairy box in the lounge, so I can sort out the fairy box and the sideboard so that I can have all my whips in the sideboard and my whips to be that are set up in this other box. And yeah, that would make quite a good, I mean, to be honest, I think that'd make quite a good vlog. I don't think that's a snippet. I think that's a lot longer than a snippet. So I want to get that done. It won't be this weekend because I have promised Ian that I will help him clear out the pink room. It's all my stuff in there, so it is really down to me to clear it out. So I need to get that done. And we've got a charity collection, not this coming Monday, the Monday after. So I need to sort it really by then. That would be a good goal to aim for. So yeah, that's this weekend. As I said, I'll try and do a video of before and after with that. I'm not going to do a during because there's just too much in there. Right, I need to clear up my desk. I need to get this edited because that would be useful. I also need to edit the Wales vlog. Got lots to do. So I hope you're all okay wherever you are. Take care, and I should see you next week.